Hello folks, today I thought we'd talk about that bugbear of all of our lives, O4, iron. I got asked a question on one of my videos, um, so I shouldn't drink anything that has an iron grunt, question mark. I said, right, that's a really tough one, because there is no easy answer to that. O4 is iron on the Simplex. It can also be gold. I haven't found this personally, but I have read on forums. People have found things at O4 for gold necklaces and such like, because gold is such a low conductor. What is your likelihood of finding gold in an agricultural field, such as the one behind me, versus finding iron? You are a lot more likely to find iron at O4 than you are to find gold in a field like this. But there is the possibility, if you don't dig every O4 signal you come across, that you might miss a gold necklace. I think it's probably quite a small possibility, but it is a possibility nonetheless. Now, iron grunts and grunts behind things are tricky, because the field that I'm in is full of slag, Bronze Age, Iron Age slag, and it bounces all over the place. It makes crazy signals. Most of them center on sort of 18 to 20. You'll hear that. And you can get it 2 directions, you can get it 3 directions, but it usually has a grunt behind it. Other fields that I'm in have the same problem. If you're running your machine hot, if you have field and full sensitivity and you are running it wide open, you can get a grunt on the end of your swing. You can get a grunt if you knock into stubble or dock or nettle. If you're trying to isolate a signal and it's like buried in, nettles are really bad, and it's buried in and you're bumping something with your coil and you've got your machine running at the edge of its ability, it will false and it will grunt, and it's not actually iron. I have found in field on a field that I have that is full of slag and coal, that it's falsing with an iron grunt on everything when I run it on field mode. Even if I drop it down to 5, I've had to put it onto park 1 at 5 or park 2 on 6 to stop it. Or just run on that and then check signals, but it does grunt at the end of swinging over something. And I'm not talking about like mad swinging. I'm talking about just trying to sound out the signal, and it grunts just because it's running on the edge and there's so much coal and slag and things that are in this field. It's just picking it up because it's so sensitive, and you're getting it. I'm getting it on every single signal, even if I don't find slag in the hole. So in that field, I have to really crank her down and I have to check everything, and I still have to dig some coal. Just is. But I don't ignore an iron grunt. I don't just walk past something that grunts in that field, because I was doing that and I was looking at people digging cap badges around me and thinking, why am I missing that? And that was because I had listened to it, it had grunted, and I thought, nah, that's not anything, it's rubbish. And actually it was just the machine being oversensitive. I needed to turn it down. I was in a field yesterday that also had a lot of slag in it. They were hot on their iron working up here. And again, I had to turn it down a bit, and I didn't just ignore everything that had an iron grunt. I was checking it out. So you will learn. You can try to nip shield something if it has a grunt on it and see if it's a big piece of iron. You can use your pinpointer on your machine to sort of get a size idea for the item. And, if it's really big and it's got a grunt, yeah, I probably wouldn't dig it. If the nip shield technique is not kicking in until it's right over the item, or your pinpointer technique is saying it's quite small, think about it, change directions, check it in all modes and see what you think. So the answer is not instantly, don't dig it if it grunts. It's to think about it. And certainly I would say if you're a beginner, dig quite a few things that do grunt, because you need it secure in your own mind. Every detectorist will experience a moment where they go home and they're laying waiting to go to sleep and they think, I really wish I'd have dug that signal. So you need it secure in your own mind that what you're hearing is an iron signal and you're happy to walk past it. So you need to dig some. And along you need to dig some, just to check that your ear is staying tuned in to where you want it to be. Different fields, you need to dig some to make sure that you're actually hearing what you think you're hearing in that field, because things are different. I was watching a Detect Sussex video last night, and he got a coin in at 90. And it was a copper alloy. It was a Charles II coin, copper alloy, but it came in at 90. I've never had anything come in copper alloy at that sort of level. It wasn't silver, it wasn't special. I mean, it was special find, but it wasn't, you know, anything unusual about it. He also had a 2P coming in the high 80s, and it wasn't even rusty, and I've not had that happen either. So Sussex fields are different to Highland fields, at least where the VDIs go. Now, you'll hear the grunt, and in this field I'm getting bouncy numbers and a grunt, but it's not coming up 04. But I've checked enough of it that I know it's slag. And even some of them that are absolutely rock solid, there's no grunt. I'm checking them on the directions and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is an 18 to 20. I better check it. It might be something. It might be a hammered. Chance to be a fine thing. And I dig it up, and it's this coal stuff, it's this slag stuff. So, you know, you're going to dig it. But certainly that's my take on 04 signals and grunts. And, you know, definitely dig some until you learn that field, till you really get an idea of what the machine's telling you. But don't, you know, you won't need to dig every one. There are techniques to whittle out which ones you don't want to dig. If you're running 2.78, you know, the sensitivity certainly on the VDI is down a bit. So if you're running the stock coil, you've got more sensitivity. If you're running an SP24, you'll probably get slightly less of the false iron grunts because it's a narrower field. There's a lot of variables, so there's not an easy answer to that question. But I hope I've given you some ideas of where to go. And if you have questions, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, I'm going to let you hear what this slaggy field sounds like and what some of these grunts sound like. And then I'm going to let you hear what I swung over and what's a signal, and then I'll dig it up and show it to you at the end. So here we have the Simplex. She is on mute. She is running on full sensitivity, but I have put her in Park 1 because it lessened the cacophony in my ears a little bit. I don't have iron that high. She is ground balanced from turning the machine on and ground balancing. I think it came up 57 or something like that. It's not showing mineralized. So I will take this off, and we will go. Okay, that's the signal that I heard, and I thought, yeah, I'm definitely digging that. But let's go find some of this slag. Now, this is Park 1. Let's put her in field. Full sensitivity and field. You can hear the stubble isn't setting her off. That, my friends, is slag. I've been digging it up. I know what it sounds like. I know how it reacts. You hear how I'm getting that signal, but I'm also getting that grunt. That's not falsing. That's her picking up the slag. Okay, that's the spade. So as I'm swinging and I'm listening to all of this cacophony, I came over that and I thought, hear how that sounds different? There's no grunt in that. You hear that? Beep. And you go, ooh, and you go back and you check it. And it jumps out at you. It sounds different. It's not got a grunt that all the rest of this does. So I'm just going to shut the Simplex, put the Simplex down. I'm going to dig this signal. I'm just going to mute her since I don't have the headphones on. And I'm going to show you a piece of what this stuff looks like because I've been digging it up. So this is what it comes out of the ground looking like. If you wash it up, it's very light. This one's actually got a little bit more weight to it. It's all bubbly. It looks like bubbly coal. And let's see, there it is on the ground, and I'll show you. All right, we go over it. But as you go around your directions, you get that bit of iron. Every so often. But you have to learn your field, because if you don't learn your field, you wouldn't know that wasn't a nice silver hammer just under the surface. So let me isolate this nice 60 signal over here, dig it up and show you what it is. Okay, so here in this hole that I have dug out, we have both a slag signal and our original signal. Jumping around. So let's get the pinpointer on them. My pinpointer, the pulse dive, does not see slag. So that is one thing that helps me, is if I'm trying to isolate this stuff and I am putting the pinpointer over it and it's not reacting, and then I can pull the piece out and put it under the coil and the coil reacts, then I know it's the slag stuff and I can just leave it. But it should be reacting to whatever this 60 is, if we can find it. Let's see, look at that on. Yeah, she's definitely on. And it's definitely out the hole, so it must be small. I'm going to locate this and I'll come back and tell you what it is. Right, okay, so I have located the slag piece. Where did it go? I lost it. But there's nothing over here, but that signal we were getting is just in there. So that's why I couldn't find it. It was buried a little bit, but I did have that slag piece. I don't know where I put it. I took it out to show it to you. Ah, there it is. You can see it by the touch of black on it. Nope, that's dirt. There it is. That piece there. That's a bit of slag, that. You see that? So that was the bouncy signal, and the other signal's in there. So let's get our digging knife, and let's see what this is. I didn't quite get my centering right on my hole digging because it's just up off the side. Oh, there it is. Okay, what have we got? Thing poking out there that's shiny and silver, but I don't believe it is silver. I think it's going to be a piece of nasty old foil. It is, but it was a solid signal and it was in the 60s, so it could have been a copper coin. Unfortunately, it's a piece of this kind of aluminium that comes up in the 60s. Hey ho, but as you can see, the slag didn't react. This did to the pinpointer, and the Simplex was seeing both, but you saw how this signal behaved. So if I find anything else good as I'm going around, I will put the pictures up now, perhaps do another live dig. But if there's no other live dig, then we've headed back to the car. And take care of yourselves, and happy hunting!
back to the car and realised that I never mentioned my fantastic hat. Thank you very, very much to Melanie and Graham at Unearthed UK, and thank you very much to them for the carbon fibre shaft with the discount for the Simplex Owners Group. It's on my detector. You'll see it on the footage that has just been shown. I completely forgot to mention it because it's just an integral part of the machine now, like the SP24, and it's great. It still has a little bit of the sticky problem that the plastic shaft did, so I'm going to need to put a bit of the car wash and wax on it, just to aid it if it gets a bit of grit in there, because it fits quite tightly. But it is nice and solid. It does not wiggle. It is lighter. With the Mamu sling, the SP24 coil, this machine is on fire. It is wonderful, the Simplex. So I'll put up a picture now of the few finds that I got in the field. I just wanted to give the shout out to Melanie and Graham. I completely forgot when I was out on the field. And so we stopped at the supermarket to get some bits for dinner. I thought that was a good chance to just say thank you and mention the shaft as well. So anyway, there's the hat. It's very cool. Thank you. And you guys go and get your own discount from the Simplex Plus Owners Group, and stay safe and happy hunting.